Alrighty, so I have what I would call a meal prep emergency going right now because I was getting ready for work and I found this little treat in the fridge. This is raw chicken. It was in the freezer. It says raw chicken paprika. So I have to do something with this before I go to work. And it's still fairly cold, but from what I remember, this is kind of, I like to keep like stuff in the fridge for like 3 days after I open it, raw meat. And this was like 3-4 days tops. And this was like near the end of that when I put it in the freezer. So I've got to do something with this. So paprika. What can I do with a paprika? So I'm going to look in the fridge. And I thought up to a minute ago that was a teriyaki, which I would have had a different approach. So what I think I'm going to do is get a sweet potato and a winter squash and put them in. Alrighty. And I'll show you how that looks. And this is why I like to have this stuff ready to go, because there's no way I could cut this up in time. And there we go. This is about 2 cups of each. There we go. Alrighty. And theoretically, it's only probably about $1 or $2 worth of meat, but I don't like to waste it. Now, I have frozen onions, and we'll call it mixed vegetables. I think it appeals to Latinos. It is just carrots, peas, and corn. They lost the green bean, which is perfectly fine with me. So, I'm just going to put some onion. That looks good. And since it is paprika, I'm going to put some paprika on the vegetables. And some kind of tomato sauce, I think. Alright. So the paprika is here. I saw it. I'm like that old lady in the Ray Bradbury story where her kitchen appeared very disorganized, but she could create all these wonderful dishes. And then when they tried to fix her kitchen, she couldn't cook anymore. So her grandson had to put it back. And it's a very cute story. And I'm going to do a ½ teaspoon on the vegetables. Alrighty. I'm not going to put that back together. And then a little heat. So we're going to do a ¼ teaspoon of the red pepper. And you will notice, guys, I am not using the finest spice blends here. You know, this is Walmart's finest, the $1 special, you know. So it doesn't have to be expensive to work for your food. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you have to have the best. If you can't have the best, don't use it. And I don't agree. So this, how much salt? I think I'm going to put a teaspoon, and I know that seems excessive, but I need a lot of salt in my diet, so I want to be cognizant of that. So, alrighty, I'm going to put a ½ teaspoon on the vegetables and leave that open. And then when I put the chicken, I'm going to put the other ½ teaspoon on that. And I'm going to put this on top of the chicken. So, okay, let's do the chicken. Alrighty. And you notice I double bagged it. Now, I am fairly cheap, but these bags are going in the trash. Because as far as I'm concerned, both of these bags are contaminated with raw chicken juice. So, that's 3 pieces. Okay. Okay, I thought it was only 2. Okay, so it already has a little bit of onion in there. Oh, no, it's 2. Okay. So it has a little bit of onion in there already. It looks okay. It's still pretty cold, which is good. Because I have it on a timer. It's not going to turn on for an hour or so after I leave. And then I'll need to take the trash out when I go because I do not want raw chicken juice sitting around the house all day. And I don't have a favorite hand soap. If it gives me a good lather, I'm good with it. So this is actually an antibacterial soap. I got at Dollar Tree that works. I like that for the kitchen. Okay, so the chicken is in. Let's have a look at the chicken. Okay. Now, some kind of tomato product. Now, I have a nice assortment of tomato products here. So I'm going to look. Rotel, I don't think that would work. Beans. More beans. What's this? Okay. Fire roasted diced tomatoes. You know what? Or I have tomato puree. I'm going to go with the diced. Okay. So, and it's a pop top. I like that. They're not great for like long-term storage, but for like cooking for the next couple months, I have no problem getting that stuff. And it means I don't have to plug in the can opener. And you can see it is fire roasted. And I'm going to put this all over the chicken. It went all over like one piece, but not the other. So, there. I'll wash my hands and show you a picture in a minute. And now the raw chicken I touched. We are going to act accordingly. Because I've had salmonella, it is very, very horrible. Okay, so a picture of the chicken. There it is with the sauce on it. And I like the way that looks. We're going to do this. Because like I said, I want a lot of vegetables in my food. So, and it'll help keep the chicken cool. That's what I like. So, alrighty. And I have no idea how the paprika is going to work with these vegetables, but we'll find out. So, that's the nice thing about budget cooking, I guess, is that, you know, if it doesn't work out, it's not a big deal. So, salt. Okay. Alrighty. And paprika. What I have done in the past that was delicious, and I think I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do another half teaspoon of paprika. Was I did paprika and chipotle together, and that was fantastic. So I think I'm going to do that again. I just need to locate the chipotle. Ah, there it is. My kitchen does not make sense to a lot of people, I'm sure, but it makes sense to me. Chipotle, again, Walmart's finest. So, and I get my discount on it. So there's a little over half a teaspoon here I'm going to put on the top. All right. And I already put some onion, vegetables. I think I am good. It's got some heat in it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good. So, all I need to do is just put the lid on here and go to work. It will be ready when I get home. And I like to see a lot of seasoning on my food. Now, here are some important points if you're cooking on a timer. Right now, my timer is set to off. So, I want it set to low. So, it's set to low. One time I made that mistake. I ruined a pork roast. And then you want to make sure that is set and then it's set to timer on. So that's all ready to go. That is my meal prep. I will check in tonight.